Welcome everyone, I am Palpatine001 aka the Senate, and we are back with City Skylines 2 and the first city, Neo South Auckland. Today we're going to look at a prelude in finally establishing the city centre to full capacity. At the moment the city is in its mature stages. We've gone well over the 100,000 population critical mark, so which means we are now able to attract all densities, and the city is able to be self-sustained through natural growth. Now the city centre is located in here, away from the older part of the city, which has its own city centre, Manukau City Centre, which was established when the city was first founded. But we're now establishing the core of the city, the main city centre itself. As before we do, let's get those out of here. We're going to have a few of those all clear themselves. So I've done some work on the city centre, but we're going to basically, through this video, is the prelude, and the next one, which will be the main one, basically get this city centre up and running, and then we'll do the final touches on the city doing this side of the main river. Now the city centre district, as you can see, extends if we come in a bit, covers quite a large area. So it covers pretty much this area here. The area next to it is the Hamilton Urban Growth Corridor, and we're going to put a Metropolitan Centre up in here to support that. We also just need to connect this last part of the railway up here to finish the railway services, and I'll need to rejig the intra-city rail services to reflect what is going on there. In comparison, Manukau City Centre is much smaller, with 5,500, well, 9,000 residents and about 33,000 jobs. The main city centre is, even though it still hasn't been fully established, it's pretty much getting up there. Now, interestingly with the city centre, and I'm not going to redo the districts for this one because lack of policies doesn't really convince me to chop the districts back up, unlike City Skylines 1 where we have the leisure and tourism specialties in the districts, the IT, and so where I could chop the city centre up into several parts and like make downtown the tourism, midtown the leisure, uptown say the IT, and so on. We don't have that there, so there is no point in me chopping up the city centre. That said, the city centre is technically in 4 parts, which is nothing unusual for a city centre. Okay, so the 4 parts of the city centre, or I should say the city centre, we go back to the district part, is bounded by Orchard Street, which basically runs right from the airport right the way through into the southern fringe or the bottom fringe of Manukau City Centre. Basically ends up as a pedestrian path just stopping up here. So that's its top bound, in this case its top boundary. Its bottom boundary is basically running along the Mesa through here, and then it's flanked by the rivers on either side. Now if you're wondering why not down here, when the first DLC comes out, which I believe is the beach promenade's packed in something else that allows for some exclusive stuff, this will become an exclusive promenade area for those Ponzi Sims tough noses, and we'll use that down here for this first city before as a trial before going into our main city series, Neo Solarian City, which is due to start Q1 once the first DLC comes through. So those are the main borders. Now the 4 parts the city centre is in. So we have the core itself. So if I just turn this down a bit. So actually no, we'll go back the other way. So we've got the core of the city centre, the absolute core, and that is anchored by the medical university, the observation tower, and the city hall, which is located right here. And of course the city still has its planning officers, for who, and the city court, so they've actually bundled the courthouse together. So there it is there. It's running in the game at the moment. The lower part, you then have the lower part down here, which would be traditionally the downtown. And that is anchored by the Central Intelligence Bureau, the Disease Control Centre, and the Central Bank. So this has pretty much quite of the central civic, the central government or the federal government infrastructure in here. So this is in the downtown, and of course there is lots of parks and that, so on, and quite a bit more of the residential in that. So you could say this is the central government district, which is different from the main core backed by City Hall. So you could say, yeah, this is the government district right here, the downtown. A lot of your tourism stuff is actually up in here rather than down in here. And basically what forms the border between the core and the government or the downtown sector is the railway line, the main railway line that runs all the way through. Crossing over Holly Street, which then acts as the next border, and that runs all the way up to Orchard Street and all the way down to Empire Street. So basically if we go back to the city centre, so basically what we have here, again bound by the railway line, and then with the motorway which borders Hamilton, back down and then back down here. This is the university and the cruise district. So we've got the main university here, we've also got the cruise ship terminal here, as well. So that's that part again. Lots of parks, quite a bit of commercial here to service the tourism. We've even got the main cemetery in here, and the area has been zoned, but it's due to be zoned a little bit better and a little bit more later on if I don't convert it over to forest. In fact, what is the zoning I have here? Is it medium density? No, it's North American. Yeah, it will be. Yeah, that'll be the medium density here. So that's that quadrant up here. Now we have arguably this part here will probably be an extension of the core. So the core would actually come around here through this interchange and around. So that would be part of the core. Up here would be traditionally known as the uptown, and that's just going to drop down into medium density stuff to basically support the main city centre, medium scale offices and commercial that. So it won't be all full high density here, and this will also be supported and backed by the corridor. Now I just need to work out, that is not a bridge, is it? No, so I need to do a bridge up and over the service that, and likely, although I don't want to because that's a motorway junction, yep, get a pedestrian bridge over here, and maybe another one there, help connect them over to the railway. But then again, we've got a railway station on the other side, and we'll just have buses and trains, da. So those are the quadrants of the city centre. Again, that's the entire district as a whole. We have the core, which is bound by the motorway and the railway line. We have the government district, which is through here, bound by the railway and the Mesa. This will be an exclusive beach promenade area. We have the university and cruise ship terminal district, and then we have uptown through there. So that's what we're planning to do with building it. Now, public transport wise, there's a couple of things we need to do. We need to finish building the railway line through here, so we can then form up the proper services and get those train frequencies stepped up. The major tram line here, which runs from the core of the city centre, goes through this part of the district and back up to the Monaco City District. I'm going to shorten up, and we're going to actually have it terminate inside the Civic District. It doesn't need to go to the core. We are getting despawning because the cars are out for too long, the trams. And if you need to go from Monaco City Centre or even Hamilton, you can either take the metro line, which runs in the area, or you can take the heavy rail service. So you've got other ways of getting there that are just much more quicker in doing it than, say, if we were to use the tram system. So I'm going to shorten the tram system up. I'm going to bring through a few more buses. And that's oh no, he runs all the way through. He's a transcoastal one, so he's a big boy. Does he actually have any bus stops, which would be a better one? So where is he off to? He'll be up into the city centre and then looping back. It's interesting he doesn't come naturally through here. I wonder if that's a reason for that. So that's just one moment, folks. Alright, just had to fix up a bus that was going for a meander, and that was just a simple case of literally adding in 2 bus stops to sort that problem out. Although if you just give me a second, I actually need to just push that along so they don't get backed up. Actually, let's move that again. One more time. Oh, was that backing onto a parking lot? Whoops. Can't have that, because now the problem is I've got a short bus stop. So she's really stuck between a rock and a hard place on this one. Yeah, so we'll put him up here and he just cuts across. Okay, so yep, tram line needs to be done, and also we also need to add other tram lines to bring the Sims down into the city centre. Probably start getting some loop services going as we start doing low density across here to back this up. And of course there will be probably another tram line through here to go through the exclusive area. Now one thing we just need to... That's nice, I just clicked the note tree. Just one thing we need to check is the tram lines and that. Yeah, we need to shorten him up and get him into here. Oh yes, the metro. Metro. Okay, so he's not going anywhere in particular of use. So, and he's got a metro station there. Metros you don't do long runs, but I am just wondering if we drop a metro line and just do a real sharp turn off him. Yeah, drop a metro station right in. So is it going to be a case of, can I bank it round hard enough? Yes, we can. Bob the Builder, can we fix it? Bob the Builder, yes we can. They're going to have a stink about the noise, but I'm not particularly worried in that division. And I think we're in close proximity to a tram line. So we allow transfers. And I should probably run a bus service up there to do a bit of a feeder run, because that's a bit long distance. Yep, that's going to work fine. And we'll just name this... Actually, yeah, no. And of course, always put these in. Done. And when we start doing the city centre build, in fact, when I finish this video, I'll quickly bring this online and then just have it running ready to go. So that's the prelude into the city centre. So we'll be basically bringing this up to full power. We'll be modifying the transit system to adapt to it. Of course, we'll be doing lots of zoning. When the first DLC comes out with promenades, we'll get this extended. And we'll, of course, we'll keep also at the same time as well as doing the city centre, concurrently keep chipping away at the industry, because we are still very short in products in some areas, particularly along consumer goods. Although we are starting to get it under control, we're still a long way off. I'm Palpatine001, aka the Senate, and this has been a prelude into getting the city centre ready with both its zoning, what we want to achieve, the 4 sub-quadrants it has, as well as bringing the transport system finally up to full speed and up to maturity, while in tandem or parallel we continue chipping away at the industry. And as always, I will be doing, which seems to go really down well on my YouTube channel, Palpatine001, riding around those transit systems, whether it's bus, train, or tram. Can't do subways because there's not much to see, you're underground all the time for the most part. So we'll keep doing those videos, as well as riding those public transport vehicles, and periodically maybe follow the odd delivery truck or follow the odd muscle car around. Until then, plan safe, build safe, play safe, and as always, fly safe.